Welcome to the Last Week This Week podcast, episode 96. I'm Ian Scott.
And I'm Zach Huber.
And this is the podcast where we talk about movie and TV topics from the last week, get into you this week. And this week we got a couple of trailers, some Warner Brothers topics and whatnot for you.
Yeah, we are going to talk about the new The Paper series that's coming from Peacock, the sequel, sort of, to The Office.
Sort of, yeah.
Sort of. Same crew, documentary crew deciding they want to take on a small town paper. We also got some comments about the DCU and the, now called Superman Saga from James Gunn. We have some information about My Adventures with Green Lantern, which is kind of a sister show to My Adventures with Superman, which is great. Zach Cregger, hot off of his, weapons success, has a DC film in the chamber called Henchman that we're going to get into. And we're going to end the podcast with some information regarding Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. That came from none other than Sir Ian McKellen himself.
Yep.
All that's going to be in with time codes that you can jump to. But the first thing that we're going to start off with is that Fallout never changes. When a poster gets dropped, I'm like, you can smell in the water that a trailer is on its way. Like when there's a poster, there's a trailer, and I knew when these Fallout Season 2 posters dropped, which were great, they were nice. But I was like, I need the trailer. It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And this is arguably the season of TV that I don't think I've ever been as excited for a season of television as I am for this season of TV, because we're going to New Vegas. That is such an important part of my being a fan. Right, that is one of my favorite properties and locations, and I'm just so excited.
Yeah,
and
you're going to be our expert for Fallout New Vegas, because I didn't get to play enough of that.
Right.
I jumped on the Fallout series late, and not the TV series, the whole game series.
But it's never too late to dive back in.
Sure.
Fallout.
I mean, and this trailer makes me want to go back to Fallout New Vegas and learn everything there is to learn, to be honest. Yeah.
And so this trailer came out, and we get kind of this dialogue of the ghoul who is kind of talking to Lucy, and they're out in the desert, and we're in the Mojave, and we're going on our way to New Vegas. And then he ends it with being like, well, what do you think, Mrs. McClane? Now, is he talking to Lucy? Is he talking? We know that Lucy's mom is dead, but are we talking about like Mrs. McClane as in like Hank's grandma, like Hank's mother?
No. I don't think so.
Because look, maybe it was a misdirect, but he looked like he was talking to like some sort of Robotron or some sort of robot, and I was like, is the Mrs. McClane like this is her grandmother that got? I
think he said Miss McClane. I could be wrong there, but that would indicate
he said Mrs. McClane. It could have been, or look.
I also feel like we're just diving way too into the small little theory, because I don't think it's gonna turn into much for you, to be honest.
No, it might not. Look, it might not. I'm not completely sold on it, but it did make me wonder. And then we got some great shots. Like I would say the stuff that's really exciting to me is a lot of the Easter eggs, which I'll talk about. But
Agreed,
I feel like
I even know the Easter eggs, funny enough. So
I feel like some of the stuff that it was, I feel like we got more in terms of flashbacks. What happened in the instead of
Cooper Howard,
right, instead of like how the first season was primarily focused on the present, like there's surprisingly, at least in this trailer, a lot not giving away stuff, and that's kind of smart, because like they're immediately probably going to be picking up like going to the Mojave, like going to New Vegas, so like there's and there's so much surrounding just that, like how is the shape of New Vegas that's interesting because of how that game particularly ends. So like him, you know, going to the Lucky 38, seeing the Vegas Strip like completely lit up in old pre-war glory.
Cool.
It's very cool.
The fact that they kind of showed almost like a side by side of like a wide shot of like New Vegas and a wide shot of like Las Vegas. You know, I thought that was a really nice little comparison they did there.
Yeah,
but they showed
they have all. Sorry, like I just love that they have like the Atomic Wrangler, and I'm sure we're gonna have Sodom and Gomorrah, and we have Lucky 38, and like maybe Lucky 38 doesn't look like you know, 1-to-1 just like the game, but they've you know, I appreciate that they tried to make it more of a like a real world, like you can't like it'd be not that you couldn't have this huge Lucky 38 logo, but like they kind of made it a bit more like
real world
down like they just toned the I guess the not zaniness, but the like eccentricness of it down just a little bit.
Exaggeratedness, right?
Yeah. And so that was great. But at the same time, you know, we got Victor, and Victor's a Robotron.
I was very shocked to see that he was still around after all these years.
So the thing is that it kind of looks like in the background it's a little run down in like the windows. And I'm like, so is this present day? Because if it's present day, does that mean that like Mr. House won at that end of the game? Like,
yeah, I think there's a thing like
because if you kill Mr. House, and if Mr. House loses, that Robotron is like down and dead and over.
Well,
so
and here's the thing, like the more we keep seeing a Fallout, like the more they're like forcing themselves to make certain things like fully canon, right? Like at the end of season 1, the Pridwin showed up, right? And like at that point, we know that there's certain endings in Fallout 4 where like the Pridwin is destroyed. So like there are certain endings that are just not canon to the show, which I find very interesting. And then, you know, now we're going to get into Fallout New Vegas territory where like, yeah, there's probably an ending that will become like the canon ending for the show.
Yeah, it could be. I still see like there may be a potential way out of it. They might tread it in a way where like the events of Fallout New Vegas, I guess, like maybe you can still leave it as like that game, like any of those options, it's still like could end up, I don't know, because there's things that are, and I apologize for everybody that's like not deep in the Fallout lore, but like basically at the end of the Fallout New Vegas game, there's like 3, maybe 4 different factions that you're dealing with. And one's Mr. House, who we see played by Justin Theroux, who, you know, he looks amazing. I love the way that he's talking. It's sinister, but and
what's
it's
interesting
great.
Too is that we don't ever see him in present day. He's only in the flashbacks in this trailer,
right? Which would give it away. Which would give like his fate a little bit away. I mean, we kind of know how it goes, but you have Mr. House with the Vegas Strip. You have the NCR who's at the Hoover Dam, and then you have Caesar's Legion. And they're all they culminate for like the second battle of the Hoover Dam. And it kind of depends on the player who wins and who loses. But what's kind of interesting is there's a wide shot of Vegas and you can see these power lines like going into the strip. And I mean, but the strip's also like run down. It's not lit up. It's not like the jewel of the wasteland anymore.
It's been abandoned now.
And so it's like, okay, well, those power lines weren't there before, and the power lines would be there if the NCR won. But then you also see that Caesar's Legion is still around, which is awesome.
Is that who we saw in the trailer? Who they were like? Okay. I wasn't sure if that was the first recon or not. But I guess
they're still around, and I'm like, okay. So what is like what did Caesar's Legion like? Did it end like did it? They thought that they like killed them and then they like started to slowly rise back up. Like Caesar's Legion is like hardcore. And like the fact that we're going to get some of that, like,
yeah, it looked like they were fighting Caesar's Legion, I think, at like the Dinky the T-Rex.
Maybe.
Yeah, I thought that was a really cool like throwback too. To throw that Dinky T-Rex in.
Yeah, and I love seeing them at that motel. And basically kind of doing a mission that you kind of do in a way, like they kind of set it up still the same way that you have in a mission in New Vegas. So like that was a cool reference. And then, I was getting so excited that I rewatched the last episode, or at least like the end of the last episode of the first season, because I always like want to watch that one scene where it's Nat King Cole and it's like, I don't want to see tomorrow. And it's the Brotherhood fighting the NCR, and then they move into the corridor, and like the Cooper starts kill all the Brotherhood, and it's like the best 20 minutes.
It's a great finale
ever.
Man. And it's such a good show. And I think I had forgot that show was like, I think in my top 2 of that year when it came out. Was it last year it came out?
Yeah, because I think it was like, you were like, we were debating if Fallout or Penguin was better.
Yeah. I think you picked Fallout was your favorite show of the year.
I kind of had to. I mean, but what was kind of interesting is like you see in this trailer that Cooper is in one of those power armors, and he was also in kind of like a wintery setting. And I was like, if he is in the power armor and that wintry setting is like Anchorage, Alaska, like he was a part of Operation Anchorage, which is a DLC from the third game. Okay. Like that would be awesome to see that in live action would be amazing. And that's a very pivotal time. But he even brought up like, the problem with those power armors was there was, this little thing underneath the chest plate. I wonder if they got that fixed. And I was thinking, what if he knows about that because something tragic happened, or he got shot there? Like want to, like that would be such a great callback. I'm very happy we're not done with going back in time and seeing Cooper's life. Like I think that was such a strong part of season 1. Yeah, and we're getting a ton of it. Yeah. Like there's no way that story was over in the
so that makes me so happy, honestly. And then a couple of other things I noticed. So it seems like Maximus is kind of back in good standing with the Brotherhood. It seems like he's being
he's a knight now.
Sure. He's a knight. He's piloting a vertibird at one point, or he's like in a vertibird. But I thought the coolest scene, which was just a small glimpse with him, was him and the other pilot that were in that vertibird are like running through the desert, and in the background, the Pridwin is crashing into the desert. And I'm like, holy shit, that is like so significant to throw into this series into like a flash into this trailer, because the Pridwin's a major part of Fallout 3 and 4, like that's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
is the Brotherhood falling in this like series? I mean, that's an insane thing to write in.
I don't know if it would be all of the Brotherhood, but
this is like their main forces now are here,
Yeah.
So they would be significantly hurt.
Yeah, but it's not the first time that's happened, and could it be some defense systems in Vegas? Could it be the Enclave? Could it, there's a lot. I mean, I don't know. There was some still images that got released before the trailer, and one of them was of Hank McClane, and he was in front of a mirror, and there was some like armor behind him, and I was like,
well, the armor he stole, probably,
Well, it looked like
different looking.
It looked. I don't know. I don't know if it was power armor, like Brotherhood power armor, or if it was something else, like
something new, maybe.
I don't know if it was like Enclave or what. Right. Very intrigued.
Well, we also get a really cool shot with Hank, like another just kind of like a flash scene where he like is walking into what seems to be this gigantic underground Vault-Tec facility with the power armor on. It was Hank.
Okay.
It was Hank. Yeah. And I'm like, so that means there's probably a huge Vault-Tec facility in New Vegas or somewhere around New Vegas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little scary. I don't know if like I ever knew Vault Tech was that close to you in New Vegas, besides the actual vaults, you know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, it's exciting. It's very exciting. And it's like, it's, I love this intrigue of like these few player, like these few rich people in the world decided, oh, we're going to create a war so we can profit somehow.
Dude, that season 1 ending is still like, it just blows my mind. It's so incredible.
And the fact that we get to like get even more out of Mr. House and lore built into, like, it's so delicious.
And I'm not like worried at all about it because of how much they killed it in season 1 writing wise, you know, like, to me, this is Fallout 5, this whole series.
Right.
Know?
Yeah. And like, I agree. Well, but
I'm so into it.
Yeah. I mean, I want it to be great. I'm not going to say that I'm not like worried, because like
I have high hopes for sure.
I have really high hopes, and that makes me nervous. But like you said, they've done a great job, and they've also not like completely pigeonholed themselves into like a set story, because they're just basically like, this takes place in the same world. So all that other stuff has happened, but maybe some events will be like kind of changed. I mean, like, you know, the ending of like Fallout 3, if I'm not mistaken, like there is a kind of set canon, you know, in a way of what happens.
Right.
You know, especially like with the Pridwin. Like, I mean, obviously like the Brotherhood turned out fine. You know, like they traveled out west and all that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm super excited. There was also like a poster where Maximus had like that quantum thing that like powered all of it.
The cold fusion.
The cold fusion. Like it looked like he was putting that in his back pocket. So like that's going to be a big thing, I think. And
didn't they use it? Am I misremembering? Isn't it powering things now?
Well, yes, but who's to say that they don't like maybe replicate it or something,
or just steals it after the fact, or
I don't know.
Who knows? But yeah, this second season comes out December 17th. So we got a ways to wait.
And we didn't even talk about the Deathclaw tease.
You're right. At the very end, Lucy and the Ghoul run into a fucking Deathclaw. And it looks like they're the right move, and the only move for them to do is to run. So I didn't expect them to be fighting a Deathclaw, but I think it's very cool. We're seeing a live action one.
Yeah, and now the only thing that I need is I need a super mutant. Like I need it. I need that would be great. I need it. But yeah, I'm deliriously excited.
Yeah, me too. And I'm assuming this is going to have 8 episodes again, like the first season did. But we'll just have to see when it comes out. But yeah, we'll definitely be reviewing this again. We reviewed the first season, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
But next trailer we wanted to talk about is the sequel, technically, to The Office that Greg Daniels, the showrunner for The Office, has come back for. He's created The Paper, and the first trailer dropped for that. And I don't know what I was expecting. It definitely has that feel of like the Office vibe, where it's a workplace that nobody really wants to be at, you know? I think some
people want to be there.
I think there's one person who really wants to be there, you know? And I think that's the same as like Michael Scott in The Office. He was the one person who like really wanted to be there, right? And this guy, like the boss of The Paper in this, he's played by Donald Gleason, I think is his name.
Domhnall Gleeson.
He played
Mr.
General Hux
in
Star Wars. Hux. And he was one of the Weasley brothers in Harry Potter.
And he was in Ex Machina.
You're right. I always forget that role for him. That's so funny. But yeah, he's the boss. He's a very enthusiastic
editor-in-chief
who wants to do right by this newspaper,
small town paper,
right, called the Toledo Truth Teller. Yeah, crazy. But yeah,
it's Toledo, Kansas,
Toledo, Ohio. Actually,
Ohio. Okay.
Yeah.
Historic but declining.
You are thinking of Topeka. But yeah, it's a historic but declining Midwestern newspaper trying to resurrect itself. So yeah, we get a look at a few of the employees in the office. We have one woman who's kind of reminds me of like Kelly in that, where she was just like all about pop culture. And it's the woman I'm referring to is the one who like didn't write anything but put in pictures in her article. If you
is she the one that was like her English wasn't like
yeah.
Oh my God. I love her. She's so good. I thought she was hilarious, but she also is the White Lotus manager in season 2.
Oh, really?
So good. She's great. I'm so excited for her. Yeah, and also like this whole cast, they did like character posters, and it all was, accountant / reporter. Or
what's funny is I only saw the Oscar poster.
Okay.
I didn't see the others, but
they all have like dual roles. So it seems like they're they're reporters, but they're also like in charge of all the behind the scenes running the actual
interesting
paper with finances and production and all that stuff.
Everyone's taking on like 2 jobs because they can't afford to hire anybody else.
Yeah, that's kind of how it feels. Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, I since it was announced, I was really just confused about like the Oscar kind of situation, because like the last time we saw him in the office, he was running for like local congressman, and now he's like just back to being an accountant at a local newspaper in Ohio. And you're like,
but it probably just didn't work out.
Yeah. I'm just curious how he got from Scranton to Ohio. Like what brought him out of Pennsylvania and into Ohio? Like, not that it's a crazy move or anything, but,
right?
He was in Scranton for quite some time,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's got like family out there or something.
Yeah, I guess that's a reasonable explanation. But yeah, it's funny in the trailer. He's very unhappy about the documentary crew finding him again, and cusses once to make sure the footage is unusable. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him, and I'm assuming like we'll get a lot of callbacks and like references to past characters through him. I don't think it's gonna I don't think other characters are gonna appear in the show, but
maybe like once in a while, depending on how the
maybe like once a season. If it keeps going.
Right. But I thought the trailer was charming and funny. Like I really am excited to watch it. Like, I think it looks great. And I really only know Domhnall and the guy that plays Oscar and then the woman who we mentioned earlier, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and there's some sort of relationship brewing between like the blonde woman, the blonde girl, and Domhnall. It kind of seems like a little bit potentially.
Yeah, that's interesting too. Is that they've kind of like put both maybe like the Jim and Michael roles into one person,
right?
Right. But I think that can work. Like this boss doesn't seem as like. He
wants it. I don't want to see. Like he probably is like a very competent like person.
I think so. I think
he's like, we're gonna, I'm gonna make this newspaper matter. I'm gonna make news matters, facts matter.
I'm curious to see like he's competent in his job as in knowing newspaper, right? but Michael was confident in like in his job as a salesman and knowing all about paper, right? He just wasn't competent as a boss. So I'm curious to see if like, if he can be a boss as well. This new guy, who I guess is playing Ned Sampson. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's got the right vibes. And I like the fact that like I don't know any of the actors really. I think that's how it should be. That's kind of like what they wanted to keep The Office as, where like they got no celebrity guests or like, celebrities playing actual characters in the show. It turned into that at one point, but so hopefully they can keep it to that kind of vibe.
Yeah. So. And I do like that it's focusing on trying to find stories, and I'm just very intrigued as to what a local paper makes its story about in today's day and age, which like, as time goes on in the way that social media and the way that people get news through social media, it changes. Mm-hmm. I do understand as you get older, like reading the local paper a little bit more than some of the the national stuff from time to time, because it's actually news that is happening around you, and sometimes it's like sometimes it's genuinely interesting or fun or funny things, and I'm excited to see it. It also is going to be, what are they going to manufacture some stories because nothing's happening in this small Ohio town? I don't know.
I could see it. But I don't think it would be an approval by the new boss. I think it would just be like an employee being like, "Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Sure, let me just turn this in." But yeah, this comes out September 4th, and it's a 10 episode first season. I'm happy that there's at least 10.
Yeah.
But
how many would a normal Office season get?
Well, after the first season was 6 episodes, but after that it was pretty much like 21, 22 episodes a season. So
the good old days.
The good old days, absolutely. But
just depends on how long these episodes are, I guess. But
well, I'm totally okay with them being like 20 minutes long. Like
I know, but like there is something nice about the 20-minute, but it's like, 21 episodes.
No, yeah, and I hope like if this season does well, then like they go back to like doing 20 episodes for 20 minutes long each,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does feel like everybody wants to do this 10 episode, 8 episode, 12 episode thing.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I agree. I don't like it. I think there was like, I feel like there was a show recently that came out that was like 20 or so episodes, and I was just so pleasantly surprised. But it is few and far between these days, for sure. So
yeah.
But yeah, this comes out in a few weeks, and I'm very excited. And it looks like it might be dropping all at once, but I cannot verify that. So
yeah,
we will see how it turns out. But next up on our list here, we wanted to talk about James Gunn's kind of announcement that he has been working on the next movie in the Superman saga, and that
he's calling the Superman saga.
Right. And that he's written a 60-page treatment for it that he's going to be turning into a script very soon, and then they're going to be starting to shoot. I think they're going to be shooting the movie they're planning next year.
Right.
So yeah, and I think he said like on the slate, their next 2 movies are the next Superman and the Batman Part 2. So
yeah,
I think that's something that we can all get behind, because I feel like those 2 movies are pretty universally praised.
Right. Depending on who you talk to, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to find somebody who hates both the Batman Part 2 and Superman, but I guess it's possible. It's possible. But I am very excited. I thought this, like the success of this movie, Superman, would like launch the DC universe. I didn't think it would like launch them doing like multiple other Superman projects. but like I'm really into that idea, and I think it's like it's smart if they want to go for like Superman, Supergirl, Batman, and Wonder Woman being like the four pillars of your universe. To me, that just means they're going to start like sagas for Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and Supergirl if they do well in their first movie, right? So yeah, the more the merrier, to be honest, especially if it's coming from James Gunn.
Yeah, I mean, total surprise, because I would have thought after the writing for 2 years practically straight of Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker season 2, building out this universe, maybe there'd be a break. But it's a very pleasant, very quick surprise that this entire treatment's already been done. Like that's very 60 surprising.
Page? Are you kidding me?
But it's exciting because if you remember the last time that he kind of was, I already got this show coming out after Suicide Squad, and we're like, oh, it's Peacemaker. I don't know about that. But it turns out to be one of the biggest things that DC and HBO has ever done. It's huge. Yep. And it was extremely it was just extremely well done, and it was exciting and fresh. So I'm hoping it's the same thing. What's interesting about calling it the Superman Saga is kind of there was like some Twitter person being like, James Gunn says that there'll be 4 movies in the Superman Saga, and it was like him in a podcast saying like, well, what am I going to do with Superman over like, I don't know, the next 4 movies? And it's like, it was a broad generalization,
right.
But there was an investors call with the investors, the stockholders for HBO and Warner Brothers, I should say. And David Zaslav, the CEO, was saying, the next movie is, what we're calling the Super Family. And
I did see that. Yeah.
And what I find so interesting is like, James keeps saying, oh, I mean, it's a sequel, but it's not exactly a Superman sequel. And there's characters who are in Superman that are going to be important, and Superman is a very important element of the sequel.
Right.
And I'm like, so what is it? And it definitely feels like we're going to get at least a Superman and a Supergirl together, combined movie.
I agree.
Feels like, if I had to guess, it's Superman, Supergirl. Who knows who else is going to be in the mix, because it feels like it's always a surprise. Yeah, maybe it's the formation of the Justice League. Probably not, but I imagine it's Supergirl, Superman teaming up against a Brainiac. Potentially
that early on. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm down. I think you have to make the threat massive if you're putting in 2 super people, 2 people from Krypton. super people. What else do I call them?
I mean, they're super people, super humans,
2 Kryptonians.
It doesn't. But I'm just excited that we don't have to wait 4 years for a sequel,
or 5 years with the Batman,
right? And I'm very excited that this Superman movie apparently ties very much into Peacemaker season 2, even though James has made it abundantly clear that you won't even need to watch Superman to get Peacemaker season 2, and that Peacemaker season 2 is going to go directly into the Superman saga. So I'm like, I love that there's a through line. I love that it's it's still compartmentalized, that you don't need to. It's not like homework.
I agree with you. Like, I do think you'll be able to get Peacemaker without watching Superman, but like, I don't know if you saw, he did say like the reason they released Superman on digital early was because he felt it was important for people to watch Superman before Peacemaker season 2 comes out. And that Superman is like pretty important to Peacemaker season 2.
Yes, but he has also made it very clear that you're not going to need homework. Like if you watch Superman, you'll get more out of Peacemaker. And I think he wanted to drop it on digital a bit earlier because there are some people who still, who when they dropped on digital was abundantly clear to me, were like, if I would have known that this Superman movie was good, I would have fucking watched it in the theaters. And there was a ton of that online over that past weekend.
Right.
And it just spoke to me that like there's still a lot of people that hadn't watched the movie because they don't want to go out to a theater, so they're going to buy it online. I don't know. We'll find out, when we watch the first episode, like how connected I guess it is. But I don't think it's going to be that important.
I think Superman probably just gives you the context for what kind of world Peacemaker is in now, because it didn't, like, in the first season, obviously he was in the old DCEU, and that universe never felt like there was this abundance of heroes, right? And I think now you're in a different world where like heroes are a normal thing, metahumans are a normal thing, and like one of the first scenes I think we're gonna have is him trying out for the Justice Gang, with Maxwell Lord and Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl. So I think it just gives you a lot of context, but it's not like
right.
It's not totally necessary. Yeah, I can buy that for sure. So
but I love that there's a Superman saga. I feel like the DCU is being very fluid with what it wants to be, and I appreciate that. I do feel like there probably is a larger plan, but
I think so.
If the iron's hot and they're like, this is exciting, this is exciting. The only thing that I get a little hesitant about, or I should say nervous about, is he's also the head of the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you're gonna, I know like Peter Safran's the production side, he's also co-CEO, but how do you do being head creative while also, focusing on the Superman movies and directing them and doing all that stuff, like when you're still supposed to be like in working in conjunction with the other directors and keeping things like, so I think the only hesitancy that I'm like, we got it started, but I thought it was going to be a bit more like, and now you guys take it, and like, which there's a little bit, but
it doesn't surprise me that he would, like, Superman is now like his property in a sense, right? And just like Guardians was, and I think it, like, I didn't expect anything less for him to like not be writing and directing a Superman sequel. Now I don't think like anything in the future that comes out that's not Superman or Peacemaker, I don't think he's going to be writing or directing. Like
I don't know. He just did Creature Commandos.
I know, but he already passed off season 2 to a different writing team. Like he's not writing season 2 now. So I think, like he wanted to start off this universe with Creature Commandos, Superman, Peacemaker season 2. I agree. Like I would have thought he'd give a little more like hands off to now like other writers and directors, which that is coming. We're getting Lanterns next year and Clayface and Supergirl.
Right.
But yeah,
which is the banger lineup.
It is a banger lineup. Absolutely. But yeah, I just didn't expect anything, like less from him to not want to direct a sequel to Superman, even if it isn't a direct sequel.
Yeah, I guess, again, I was just kind of shocked at how fast it was, but I'm very excited.
Right. For sure. Same here. But yes, also sticking with Warner Brothers DC right now, we got a lot of details on the My Adventures spinoff, set in the same universe as My Adventures with Superman. But this one's My Adventures with Green Lantern. Now I know a little bit about season 2, and I think I heard that a Green Lantern shows up in season 2 of My Adventures.
Oh God, it's been like a year. I can't remember.
Okay, but you don't remember like what Green Lantern it was?
I don't remember there being a Green
Lantern. Okay, maybe I misheard. Maybe that's possible. But from what we're seeing with My Adventures with the Green Lantern, details wise, it's going to follow Jessica Cruz as the new Green Lantern. She's going to be like 14 to 15 years old in this. So we get a teenage high school story. She's going to be going to Hal Jordan High School, which I thought was pretty interesting. And it's also going to feature Kyle Rayner, Nikki Jones, and Kilowog. Kyle Rayner and Kilowog being other Green Lanterns. But apparently, what I found like the most interesting in this whole like detail reveal was that it seems that the Green Lantern Corps has become like extinct in this universe, and that Kilowog is the last Green Lantern. And that he's going to be the mentor to Jessica Cruz, it sounds like. And that's a very different story than I think I've ever seen for like the Green Lantern before. I'm very curious to know what killed off this whole core of space cops, because they are pretty powerful. Maybe it's Parallax, but
it's a lack of hope. A lack of hope.
Yeah, is that it? They all die from just not being hopeful enough.
It's a pretty dark world right now, so it's a lack of hope.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Season
maybe, but
season 2 ends with a pretty dark.
No, it's already started pretty dark. There's no more Green Lanterns. Nobody's got the will to inspire hope or to overcome fear.
Fair.
You know, they're all scaredy cats. I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe it was Sinestro. Maybe it was Parallax. I don't know.
Right.
You know, what's going on with the Guardians? Are the Guardians still there? Is anybody hanging out on Oa? Is Kilowog the only one on Oa? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Kilowog had something to do with it. I don't know.
That would be
that'd be
pretty
twist,
wild. That'd be. I mean, Why would he still keep going at that point? I don't know.
But that's a good question for sure.
I mean, I'm not as familiar with Jessica Cruz or Kyle Rayner as much as other people. You know, I think the most amount of knowledge I have is with Jon Stewart, and I would say that Green Lantern lore is pretty low for me. Like it's I know some stuff. I mean, currently I'm kind of going through the Blackest Night story.
Oh, that's cool.
But you know, like I like Green Lantern. Yeah. I think this idea of it being kind of nearly extinct is kind of exciting. But I also have had a hard time getting into Green Lanterns in a way, because everything just gets kind of like, things can get really kind of wacky and silly pretty quickly. With the different different cores and the different beings that inhabited and
look, here's the thing: the different cores, like that's where I agree with you. It gets goofy there, because it's like especially with like there's a story where like you go like the whole spectrum. You have like the blue Lantern Corps and like the yellow Lantern Corps, and like it does every fucking color, and it's just like.
And
I don't
like
need
the
all
star
that.
sapphires, and they're like, we harness the power of love, and I'm like, I'm all for love, but it's sometimes and like, you know, like plants are getting the Green Lantern ring, and I'm just like, what is a plant doing with the ring? That's so Needless to say, I think it's I think they could make a way to make everything cool. Within this My Adventures of Superman universe, it is interesting that Hal Jordan is probably going to be much older in this world.
I think Hal Jordan's
Superman, dead. Or he's dead.
I think he's just dead, and that's why they named a high school after him. I mean,
true. I mean, not every place that's named after somebody they're dead, but
But if Kilowog is like possibly the last member, then like Hal Jordan's got to be gone, right?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I guess you're right. But so, you know, that is interesting that there's that world as well is like a not your typical world, just the same way that the DCU is kind of, you know, Hal Jordan's older, maybe getting close to retirement. Sure. You know, it's fun. It's new. Yeah. I like it. I'm hoping that it's done well. Right. I don't hate the idea that it's during a high school sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm always into like superheroes in high school. That's always a cool time to tell stories, you know?
I just hope that it like gets a good tone, because again, sometimes,
Right.
but you know, My Adventures with Superman already has some pretty wacky stuff that they did a really good job with. So hopefully it works. It's just sometimes the Green Lanterns with the space cops and everything can just be a little silly, but I'm hopefully it's good, you know.
I don't doubt that it will be, especially if it's the same team working on it as My Adventures with Superman.
Which Ian hasn't seen yet.
Which I haven't. I've seen like half of season 1. So yeah, but like I think what's like a neat storyline to go into there is like Kyle Rayner is, like you mentioned, is another Green Lantern, and I'm assuming like at some point, you know, maybe Kilowog also recruits him. I don't know how he gets a ring as well, but apparently he's going to be the love interest to Jessica Cruz in this. So we get a Green Lantern love story, which is neat. So I'm into it for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the last piece of news we want to talk about DC wise, and it's kind of DC news. It's more of Zach Cregger news, but he revealed that he wrote a script, like a full script for this movie concept he has called Henchman. He hasn't pitched it to DC yet, but apparently it's going to follow, or it is following a low level like henchman in Gotham who, you know, works for another villain, and somehow he incapacitates Batman. And
by like a stroke of luck.
Right. Just somehow he's able to do it. And I'm assuming that would be like at the beginning of the story, and then like we're following this henchman's story throughout the movie after that.
Right.
And apparently it's going to have Harley Quinn and the Joker in it if it gets, you know, picked up and shot. But yeah, I thought that was so interesting that like he wrote a whole script and wasn't even like asked by DC, hasn't talked to DC. But I would love to see this movie.
It's the same thing with Mike Flanagan with Clayface. I think.
Oh, you think he just was passionate about it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. Sure. I don't think it wasn't announced at the first, you know, in the first Gods and Monsters release schedule. I think it it just naturally. Same thing with like that Sergeant Rock thing, like Luca Guadagnino. Like I think he was just passionate about it, and you know, this movie I think will happen.
Okay, because of the success of Weapons.
Well, just because it sounds so good.
It does.
But
it does.
It's not going to happen for a while.
Well,
there's no way, and I'm fine with eating my words, but there's no way that you are going to introduce this Batman, this Joker, this Harley Quinn with a story about a henchman who, by a stroke of luck, like incapacitates Batman and then has his own like rise in Gotham underworld through that. Because immediately all of the Batman fans are going to be like, you nerfed Batman. Like this Batman's a clown.
Right.
You know, like all like, I think if you introduce Batman in his first movie, there's the potential to do this down the line. I just cannot imagine that you start off, unless you like never show who Batman looks like and who Batman is. But that would be so lame, you know?
Well, okay, so here's my thought. I think you're right. Like this, I don't think this script as it is goes through to DC. I think he would probably have to write out Harley Quinn and Joker, and put in some like lesser known.
Well, those are the ones that I'm like, they actually could be fine.
Well, my thought, why I say that is that like the DCU hasn't even introduced their Harley and Joker yet, right? And you know they're going to eventually, right? So at that point, you would have like 3 different Harley and Jokers kind of running around, because there is a Joker in the Batman.
Right.
There's not a Harley yet, but I'm just saying, like, for them to put in a third one, and I think this would have to be an Elseworld story, like regardless of timing. You know, Like I don't think this goes into the main DCU or the Batman. I think this is like a whole different section of
I don't think it would be. That is interesting. Look, I didn't really think about it as like an Elseworld story.
Yeah.
Though if you made it an Elseworld story, yeah, absolutely.
I think that's the only way it really works, because you're pissing off like the fans of like either Batman, right?
Well, I think if you just wait to introduce the Batman, have him have his own movie, and then do a movie like this, and then you have this fresh new character in your DC, like the same way that, Peacemaker, like they took this character or even like created somebody like Adebayo or like Myrn or like John Economist, and like now you have these cool, fresh, new characters that are now going to be a bigger part of the world, and then you have this like new character in this story. Like it doesn't have to be that like Batman's taken down in a really ridiculous, silly. It could be like, wow, that is
like a gunshot just hit him at the wrong time in the wrong place,
and you're like, how did that? I believe it. That's insane. Yeah. I don't blame Batman. It's just crazy that happened. Like there is, and Zach Cregger is like, I mean, so far he's 2 for 2 for me. I mean, Barbarian. What was his
first movie? Oh, Barbarian. Okay.
Barbarian was still one of the scariest movies I've seen, and so interesting and creative, and Weapons was like fantastic. So I'd love to see this. I
think
it sounds like something that James would be like, I don't know, that sounds pretty cool.
For sure. I just think like I would want like this to result in like one, I wouldn't want this to result in the character becoming like more than a henchman. I think in my mind, like in this movie, he has this like kind of transcendent like rise in the criminal world because of it, but then it just crashes so fast because he is like enemy number one, because he's the guy who killed Batman, right?
Well, it doesn't have to be that he killed him,
but that's kind of what I want.
I mean, look, if he kills him, Elseworld story. If he incapacitates him, and then like he like falls from grace because he's got like he's an imposter, like it was purely a stroke of luck. And it could be a great Elseworld story. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But if they could make like a really good character, like a guy who's, just needed that, like a one-time thing just to get things going for him. Right. And I don't know. Or it could be like a tragic, he's still just a henchman at the end of the day. Yeah. That's all he is.
That's all he ever was. Right. I would be very down to see that movie.
Poetic sort of movie. Or even a show,
True. I would rather see it as a movie, but I could be into a show idea too, for sure. But yeah, I hope he pitches this to DC soon, and I hope this gets made. And hopefully this isn't the last we've heard about this script. So But yeah, the last topic we wanted to talk about today was that Sir Ian McKellen kind of randomly revealed that for the Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum movie, that Frodo, the main character of Lord of the Rings, is coming back,
as well as himself.
Well, we knew Ian McKellen was coming back.
Well, I mean,
that was announced a while ago.
But he said, I heard there's a character named Frodo coming and a character named Gandalf, and look,
we did hear a while back that like this was going to take place like sometime during the movies, right? Like during the original trilogy.
I mean, it has to take place during the Fellowship, I can't imagine that it would. But the thing that really boggles my, like, maybe the trailer will come out and I'll go, oh, right. How could I be so stupid? Yeah, of course. But right now, I'm like, oh my God, this is so stupid because why? Now, if Frodo is just going to be like, oh, there's some walking shots of Frodo and Gollum's looking and he's just staring at Frodo and Frodo's having conversations and he's not actually talking to Gollum or having any interaction or like I could see that, but it's like, what?
Well, then why would Elijah Wood come back for that?
I just don't understand this story because I don't know how maybe Gandalf is off looking for Gollum to get him before that could be it. It could be that he was trying to stop him before like the orcs got him and he gave up, like, I forget what it was that Gollum like gave up to the orcs. I think he said like hobbits, and then that's why like the wraiths went to Hobbiton looking for him.
Right.
So maybe it's like to stop that, but I'm just like, it's like, what is the story? What is the important thing that I'm going to get out of this? I just, how is this going to enhance this?
Right.
I don't know.
Here's the thing. Like, I immediately feel like this is a cash grab for Warner Brothers, because they want to reignite all their old properties, right? But the only thing that's like making me feel like, well, maybe it's not, is because like the actors are coming back for it,
and
right?
Peter Jackson's attached to it,
right? And Andy Serkis is coming back, and like everybody who was involved in the original is like kind of wanting to do this again. So maybe there's a really good idea there and a story they have to tell.
I mean, there has to. I'm trying to I'm trying to have like faith that there is something good, because I mean, Ian McKellen doesn't have to fucking do this,
No, he's like 90 something, right? I mean,
like Andy Serkis, I imagine wouldn't want to like be attached to something terrible, as much as maybe Venom: Let There Be Carnage wasn't
86. Okay,
wasn't the greatest movie in the world. It was still fine. Like, right. It was, like, it wasn't complete trash, I guess, but I don't know. I mean, can you even think of where this story would even go? Because I can't. I think you've had the best idea. I've had zero idea, to be honest, and it's because I'm definitely not as big of a Lord of the Rings fan as you are, probably. I don't think I got really into Lord of the Rings until like the last 4 or 5 years. So I'm kind of a late bandwagoner to this. But I'm curious, like, if it's taking place in the Fellowship, like, I mean, I guess that's cool. It's cool that we're getting Gandalf the Grey again. Like, we're not going to the White era, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine what. And also, it's got to be like, if Elijah Wood does come back as Frodo, I mean,
it's got to be significant.
De-aging you must do. I mean,
well, and for Ian McKellen, it's not like it hasn't been 20 years for him too, like right. Over 20 years. So, this is going to be an expensive one for sure. But I'm hopeful. I think we have a 2027 release date for it at the moment. But yeah, I'm only excited because all the actors are coming back and seem excited about it. So yeah. So yeah, this is the end of the podcast where we talk about what we watched in the last week or so. Did you get to watch anything exciting?
Well, I rewatched all of Peacemaker in anticipation for the new season.
Nice.
And that was very fun. I enjoyed that. It's still holds up. I think everything still holds up, and it's still an amazing season of TV. And I feel like maybe there was one. I watched a lot of the first season of Mad Men again, just because I was craving. I was craving some Mad Men, and I wasn't feeling good, so I just binge watched a lot of the first season, and it was just very nostalgic watching it. But it was also a little hard sometimes watching that show, and you're like, dang, the misogyny is just insane. Like, just like
different era for sure. Yeah.
It's just crazy how these men acted. Like, it's wild.
It's pretty bad.
But it's so entertaining to watch, like the character interactions and the dialogue, and it's just.
I think I got to give it another shot. I watched the first like season and a half of that, and I think I just got frustrated that it felt like the stories weren't going anywhere. It's very much just like a character study in a sense.
Yeah.
And I don't think I was expecting it, and I kept watching just to be like, oh, where's the story going? But it really, you just kept learning about the characters and not about like
yeah.
So,
I mean,
I think it's that kind of a show, and I just got to get used to it.
Yeah, like there is things that culminate for sure, but it's a slow, like you're there
really slow burn.
But you're there for the, like, I don't know, I'm there for the ride, I'm there for the conversations, I'm there for some of the wisdom or like the perceptions of the world that like Don will give out while he's like trying to figure out why people buy things, how to sell things, all, the hypocrisies in his own life. Like there's mysteries to like his backstory. Like there's things there.
Sure.
And then, I guess I should say, like, I did see Weapons over the past 2 weeks.
Yep.
Loved it.
Nice.
Was pleasantly surprised that the cause of why those kids run that way.
Okay.
And it was great. It was not what I expected, but it was fantastic. And you can't watch it. I don't think you can watch it.
I was just gonna ask because I really want to, because it looks so good.
It is good,
but I was like, am I gonna be able to handle this?
I mean,
I don't know, man.
I'll ask Hannah.
Okay, because she's more like me, I guess is what you're saying. Or
I'm saying I'm on the fence, but I'm leaning more towards no. Right. But I'd love to see what she thinks.
Okay.
And then I also watched the first Final Destination.
Oh, really? Okay.
Which,
I've never seen any of those.
It's of its time.
Sure.
But it's still a good time. Like I could see myself watching it again. Just
are you gonna watch
the hell
all of
it?
Or
I would like to.
Okay. I think that could be a fun movie to watch with like a group of friends.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. Just don't take it that seriously, I guess.
No, yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, nice.
What did you watch?
I got to watch a couple movies myself. New movies. I got to watch the really awful new War of the Worlds movie with Ice Cube.
I saw that you watched it.
Yeah, it was like as bad as everyone was saying, man.
I was tempted to watch it.
It's just like
you watched the whole thing.
The whole thing. Yeah, it's. I mean, like Ice Cube is genuinely one of the worst parts of the movie. Funny enough, like he's supposed to be this.
Well, I heard he was one of the best parts.
I don't know where you heard that, but he's supposed to be the like an employee for the Department of Homeland Security, right? And so he's like. He's in all the cameras. He's in drones. He's watching everything, right?
Right.
And he's supposed to sound like smart throughout the movie, like knowledgeable about what he's doing.
Right.
But he just sounds and talks like Ice Cube. So he's like,
are you saying that Ice Cube isn't smart?
I'm saying that Ice Cube
dumb.
Ice Cube doesn't sound smart when he talks.
Oh my God. I think he could be an intelligent guy.
I know what you're trying to say.
You just wanted him to sound like a little bit more like
no, man. It's just like it was just I don't know. It was and his reactions to everything were so shit and piss poor, and it's like
I did see the reaction of like him when his son's dying.
Oh my God, it's so bad, dude.
Yeah,
so bad. And it wasn't even like necessarily fun to make fun of. I was just like astonished with how bad this movie was. And then I also watched the opposite end. I watched the Naked Gun movie.
I do want to see that. Yeah,
that was incredible. It holds up to the old like Naked Gun airplane movies, comedy wise. It is so fun. Liam Neeson's so funny in it. It's packed. It's like an hour and 25 minutes, and it's just packed with like jokes, like minute to minute. It is great.
Nice.
What else? I've been watching The Studio on Apple TV, which has been amazing. Seth Rogen has really created like a really great concept for, you know, a show to star himself in that kind of deals with like studio execs in the real world. And I don't know, it just, and it's really funny and like well filmed and so chaotic, but yeah, it's fantastic. Anything else that I've watched? Nothing's coming to mind. I mean, I finished since we last kind of did a section like this. I last finished Avatar, and I'm about to finish Legend of Korra, so that's always a great ride. But I believe that's kind of it.
I did kind of watch this movie called Cade: The Tortured Crossing, which is a Neil Breen movie.
Oh God, you watched the Neil Breen movie?
I wouldn't say that I like watched. I watched a YouTuber like break down the movie, and I watched a lot of it.
Is that the YouTuber Brendan Tenold, or is it somebody else?
It was Curtis Connor.
Curtis Connor.
Okay, but I now really want to watch Neil Breen movies with my friends.
Dude, Neil Breen movies are fucking insane, man.
I like really want to watch them with people.
Like they're all his budget. He stars in every single one of them.
Yeah.
And he's not a good actor.
No, like, he's terrible.
The whole thing is terrible. Production, writing, acting.
This movie in particular is a sequel to a Neil Breen movie, but it is also completely in green screen. Nice.
Gotta love the green screen. I feel like I watched this Curtis Connor video and I forgot about it because I do watch a lot of Curtis Connor. But yeah, that would be fun to watch with you. One of the Neil Breen movies, any of them, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think that's everything we wanted to talk about today. So as always, thank you guys for sticking with us and watching or listening, whatever platform you're on. If you want to watch us in the future, we usually release podcasts bi-weekly and reviews weekly. If you want to follow us on our social medias, those links are in the description below. And if you want to give us a like, a comment, a rating, a review, or a subscribe, we greatly appreciate it.
And until next time.